I came to bring the pain.
Good morning. It's that boy Treezy here. Battlefield's premium motherfucker. Well, one of a million premium players. Now, as premium players will know, 2 weeks early access has been given to premium players for the Close Quarters DLC. That was on the 12th, yesterday, at this minute. You know what I mean? And, you know, in a minute, why don't you pause the video, make a brew, crack a can open, whatever your vice is, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to get into some detail about my first impressions of the DLC so far. Now, I don't mean to come across as a pussy, but, like, when it comes to close quarters battling in Battlefield, I'm not, you know what I mean, your strongest player. Don't get me wrong, I still do my thing, you know what I'm saying. I played a few of these Gunmaster matches, which are, you know, they're alright, little twist and that to the usual Battlefield action. Managed to finish second a few times, which I thought was quite good, to be honest. But I'm just not strong in close quarters combat, Battlefield freestyle. You know what I'm saying? Put me on COD, or well, not fucking Modern Warfare 3, but back in the Black Ops days, World at War days. You know what I mean? Me and the boys were raping Dazzler, Steve, or Half-Life. You know what I mean? Usual tanks. But you know, I know some people are going to be thinking like, why is he showing these clips then if he wants to talk about Close Quarters DLC? Well, because, you know what I mean, this is what I went and did eventually after playing the Close Quarters DLC, and these highlights, obviously, I like these highlights. You know, this is the kind of shit I'd rather be doing on Battlefield than, you know, running around like a chicken with its head cut off. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, man. I just don't think Battlefield needs that kind of close quarters shit. I mean, leave that shit to COD. COD's the master at all that close quarter shit. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not a COD fanboy. I don't not like COD. I think COD's alright. Modern Warfare 3 is shit, but the rest of them, you know what I mean, they've done pretty well. Because it's fast, it's fluent. You know what I mean? Obviously, they know what the fuck they're doing with it. Now, I'm not saying Battlefield 3 doesn't know what it's doing with close quarters. For what it is pretty decent. If you like that kind of shit, you'll love the DLC. Visually, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? Battlefield always is. You can't knock how Battlefield looks. The destruction, gorgeous, high definition. You know what I mean? The maps themselves, you know, they're alright, true to the close quarters stuff. You know, tight corridors, cover here and there, and the action's crazy. You know what I mean? It's so fast, like, and the capping speeds. Oh my god, unbelievable. But you know what I mean? You can understand why they've done that, because they want to keep the action quick. You know what I mean? You cap that point, get out of there, run to the next one. You know, 16 of you going crazy on each other. It's crazy. I mean, when I first stepped into a match, like the speed people were flying around and shit, like, you know what I mean? I was like walking amongst a crowd that was like sprinting, you know, like a marathon or something. It was pretty hectic. You know, and it is adrenaline rushing shit. I mean, the Gunmaster shit, you know, obviously the winner is the guy, you know, one guy, the number one spot, and it's pretty intense. So, you know, why am I not feeling it? You know, I sound like I enjoyed it. It's not, I don't know, man. It's like, my Battlefield history goes back to, like, I started with like Modern Combat 2. I don't know if people remember that. It used to be on the PS2. probably the original Xbox as well. You can actually get it for Xbox 360 as well. The servers are shut down for it now though, but that's some old school Battlefield shit right there. And then obviously I went on to Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2, 1943, and now obviously Battlefield 3. And you know what I mean? Battlefield for me, you know what I mean? It's always been about the vehicles, the big maps, even like infantry maps that were big. You know what I mean? Because obviously, like Bad Company 1, for example, playing Conquest on that. I mean, the game itself wasn't OTT with the amount of vehicles in maps. You know what I mean? Because obviously a lot of hardcore guys played that, and obviously there was no rented servers and all that shit. So you know what I mean? You search for a match and you will put wherever you will put, and a lot of the time, despite how big the maps were, there wasn't an amazing amount of vehicles on offer, so you were always on foot a lot of the time. You know what I mean? And you know, that's just what I'm used to. If I wanted to play this kind of fast, close quarters action, I'd be playing COD. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I mean, the reason I apologise for coming across as a pussy is because I'm not, like I said, I'm not an amazingly strong player when it comes to close quarters. But not necessarily down to, you know, being slow on reactions or anything like that. I mean, my aiming could be a bit better sometimes. But I think part of it is you've got to know which weapons really handle the business when it comes to this kind of fighting. I mean, on that point, I highly recommend the Scar. I mean, with the assignments and stuff now that have been added, if you want to complete them, you do need to mingle with some of the other weapons. And I'm the type of guy who, you know what I mean, I'll just stick with the same weapon, like, all the time. You know what I mean? But since the assignments, obviously I need to change the weapons now. So with the engineer class, I've been using the Scar, and it's pretty powerful. It really don't fuck around. Before that, I did use the A91 and I think it's the M16 A4. Both, you know, very good weapons, but the power on the Scar, it really don't fuck around. You shoot someone, they die. You know what I mean? Simple. I've not yet unlocked any of the newly added weapons, but there was some guy, a medic, in one of the close quarters matches that I was playing, absolutely shitting on me with an AUG, an AUG. We're talking like 1 or 2 shots, and he was flooring me. So I'm gonna check that out as soon as I unlock that. But yeah, you know, the assignments are pretty interesting. Really good variety with them. Sniping assignments as well. A bit daunting for me because that's another one of my weak spots, is sniping. Now, typically when I've been trying to get these sniper kills and headshots, I know one of the assignments is for the L96. Obviously I'll try and find a good sniping part. Obviously I'll try and find a good sniping spot. Not on the close quarters DLC maps, obviously. You know, and I'll have my 8 times scope and my 12 times scope, and you know, I'll just fail miserably. Now, I actually took the scope off the sniper, started running around, you know, with iron sights. That was on Grand Bazaar, and I'm flying around getting like 1-shot kills and shit with the sniper now. What's that about? I mean, obviously people have killed me that way many times before, but I don't know, I just thought they were just getting away with bullshit all the time. But it actually kills people with 1 shot. I mean, I think it's like a chest shot or something like that. But I'm not gonna lie, it's uncalled for. I know I should be buzzing over it and shit, but it's wrong. It's proper wrong. And I mean, I thought it'd be really hard to shoot people aiming down the sights, and it's piss. You line them up, shoot one shot and they're dead. I mean, that shit's crazy. But you know, that's just me. And another thing as well, I got my first EOD bot kill, as you would have seen before this close quarters match. And that's another thing that wipes the floor with people. I mean, obviously I'm pretty experienced when it comes to the battlefield, but there's some things, you know, I just never really bother to experiment with, and because one of the assignments is to actually get a kill with the EOD bot, and you get in close range on someone with that thing and it fucking floors them. And I even managed to get my first tank to jet kill. The guy was a dick for flying in a straight line towards me anyway, but you know, I enjoyed that, so I had to fit that clip in before this match. Now, if you've yet to dive into the Close Quarters DLC, there should be a few pointers you need to be aware of. Obviously, if you're gonna play solo or without your friends and whatnot, I wouldn't expect, you know, too many happy fun times. I mean, you know how it gets when you team up with randoms. You know, it can go either way. In this, you know, in the few matches I had, it weren't too bad, but you know how it is. Obviously, communication is key and whatnot, teamwork and blah blah blah. Because the clips I was showing at the beginning of this video from the Carg Island match was with randoms, and that was one of the worst matches I'd ever played with randoms. They were so bad, like, nah, words can't describe it. They was horrific. Don't get me wrong, obviously we got punished because the other team was obviously coordinated and knew what they were doing. Any time that we'd pull an objective back, tanks were rolling in, jets were rolling in, choppers were rolling in, you know what I mean? And it was either me or me and perhaps one other random getting annihilated and not really doing a lot. So yeah, you know, get your friends on board, get in some of these matches, get the whole communication teamwork thing going on, and you know, kick some ass. Because another thing as well is the spawn points are always random. Now I know it's not normal conquest, it's conquest domination, so it doesn't matter what flags your team's captured, the spawn points are still always random unless you want to spawn on your squad mates. Which I guess in a way, you know, is understandable. Obviously they do want the action to be fast and frantic with this DLC, so when you're not knowing which direction the enemy's coming from, you know, it's going to keep people on the toes and it's going to keep people guessing, you know, avoid the possibilities of people being spawn trapped and whatnot. So just a little little set of tips for you there. But that'll be all for me. Had a nice waffle there for almost 14 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed my opinions, rantings and ravings on the DLC. I hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you on the battlefield.